What is going on, guys? Welcome into Seahawks Today. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and we are live, hanging out, having a grand old time on the last Thursday in October, or I guess almost the last Thursday in October. If you're hanging out with us, head on into the chat and spam C. Got to give a shout out to you. Already the first person in the chat, Jessica, was in hanging out with us. Jessica, your dad needs to check his DMs. Tell your dad to check his DMs. I sent him a DM. Like to get him some goodies. I see iSnap4 hanging out. Brant, what up? You're a legend. I'm not a legend. Robert, how's it going? 76 of you guys hanging out with us. What up? SJW, how you doing? You, what up? David Brinkley, yo. What up? Got a good crew hanging out with us, having a good old time. 71 people in the building, 14 likes. Let's get those like numbers up. Joel, how are you? I'm doing great, man. Basketball season started. I have one eye kind of paying attention to it. Xander, what up, man? Good to see you. Haven't seen you. No, we did see you last week, I think. Xander, it's good to see you, man. How are you? Nick, what up? Jennifer, what's going on? Vicious? I hope I got Vicious right. I apologize if I did not. That's my Hawkinson accent. Xander, let's go Hawks. Real one, shout out to you. By the way, everyone make sure you give a hearty hello to the man, the myth, the legend, producer Reed in the building. Hanging out, having a good time. Genesee, what up? Who? Producer Reed, what's in your cup? Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate it. Gary, what's going on? Keep building our defenses. Great to have that again. Checking in from Arizona. Shout out Arizona. I'm excited to I need to go visit Arizona. I got a buddy out in Scottsdale. You ever been out to Scottsdale, Producer Reed? I would love to go, man. I've been driving through. Haven't gotten to hang out.
I was going to ask, how was your wedding?
The wedding was good, man. Everyone got married that was supposed to. No one got married that wasn't supposed to.
Nobody objected?
No, I was offered money to object. I'm not going to say who, and the groom thought it was funny. The bride did not, and so I was sat down and was told not to be a wild card at the wedding. It might be because when I walked in, I may or may not have grabbed a 30 rack and hit it for myself. It's possible that happened. Gabriel, what's going on? Sam Wallace. Ooh, Harrisburg, PA. Ooh, you're a PA guy, right, Reed? Shout out.
Nowhere near Harrisburg, though. I was closer to Philly.
I'm going to be honest. It's either Pittsburgh or Philly in my eyes, and I know that's wrong.
Yeah, Harrisburg is like middle to left.
Middle to left. Okay. Middle to the left. Gotcha. Jessica, Seahawks are going to play. What do we do? Is it November 2nd, November 1st? Halloween's on a Friday. 1st would be Saturday. So 2nd, November 2nd. Seahawks are going to be on Sunday Night Football taking on the Washington Commanders. Get to enjoy a nice and much-needed bye week. Great shirt today. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. What are you wrong about?
No, Harrisburg is not to the left. I'm thinking of something else. No, Harrisburg is like, if you're looking at Pennsylvania, it's like lower part towards the right. So it's
gotcha.
It's what was I thinking of?
Not entirely sure.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is all the way on the left. That's what I thought.
Gotcha. Very cool.
State College is right smack in the middle. That's where Penn State is.
Oh, okay. Look at this. You're learning geography on Seahawks Today. SJW, thank God we have a bye, so I don't have to be scared. Feel that. I can also grieve my Mariners. I think that's the most important thing. P. Wayne Sup from the Netherlands. Shout out the Netherlands. Joel, I may not be able to send money, but how do you do that? If I was able to send something, Joel, you don't have to do any of that. We just appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. If you would like to, there's a little super chat button. I think it
looks like a
dollar bill.
It looks like a dollar bill. It's like the square little dollar bill next to the chat, where it looks like you can hit an emoji. It's like the little button circle with a a square and a money sign in it.
Yeah, Joel, you see it? Yeah.
But-
yep, dollar sign. Yep, but you don't have to, man. We like you just coming in and
I was
hanging out
going to
with
say,
us.
but there is a button with a thumbs up.
Should
you hit
smash
that.
that.
You should hit that for sure. That's free.
Smash that. Dude, you know what's crazy? We have almost half, actually more than half the amount of people hanging out with us. 59 people hanging out, 31 likes. That's freaking awesome. 32 likes, excuse me. I apologize. That's freaking awesome. Jeff, bring it on, sir. Dude, I cannot wait. Genesee, I'll ask producer Reed first, and then I will give my grade. Genesee asks us, Reed, what would you guys grade the first half of the season? So
Wait, how to grade the first half?
Yeah, so the poll question for today, Genesee's building on that, was how do you grade the first half of the season for the Seahawks? I know we're not quite halfway, but close enough.
Almost, basically.
Right.
Can I use minuses and pluses?
Yes.
I would say B plus.
B plus.
Very close to an A minus. Like, if we're in class, you got like half a question wrong, and it brought you down to like an 89.3.
Yep.
They're at an 89.3 right now.
I think that's a really good grade because that's about where I sit too. A minus. Obviously, on the poll, I had to go A, B, C, or D. So technically, I'd probably have to give the Seahawks a woohoo. Trigger, I see you.
You'd give the
I give him a woohoo. Trigger, we'll get you up here on the screen here in a second. Thank you so much, my good friend. Going back to my grade, here's what I would say. I would give it, I think technically I lean towards a B just because. Robert, what's up? Appreciate you guys. And here's the best part. Because we're doing a mailbag today, you guys are going to be a part of one of our videos. I believe it's going to be Sunday. I need to completely lock down that date, but I believe that it's going to be Sunday. I would just say a B because I'm right where producer Reed is, right? High B plus, low A minus. You've got great teams that you've played, and you've beaten most of them, but a couple of them, you just have weird mistakes. And honestly, Trigger kind of points this out, and this is one of the reasons to me why it's a B plus, is Clint Kubiak needs to stop doing the trick plays. Has to stop doing the trick plays. Like, you're at a point where let's stop the funny business. Like, I'm done with Jalen Milroe. I don't need to see Cooper Kupp throw the football. I have an MVP candidate at quarterback in Sam Darnold. Let's just keep throwing the ball with him. Let's keep trusting him to do his thing. Trigger also says Blue Jays in 6. I think that might ease my feelings a little bit more if the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers, because then I can say, hey, maybe the Seahawks would have won. Anyway, so Mariners, it's football season, whatever. It's not my Friday. Robert, what up, dude? Good to see you. Hey, Robert, I appreciate it. We'll after this, Robert, I'm going to answer your question here in 1 sec. After we do that, I am going to show everyone how they can get onto the show or onto a future video. Robert has already done so by sending in a super. There's also a hashtag that you can use if you'd like to be a part of one of the videos. But Robert asks, what roster moves would you like to see during this bye week? So, obviously, trade deadline's coming up here soon. ESPN just released a very surprising list that we kind of went through in today's video where it was, hey, everyone expected Tariq Woolen to be there, but no one, at least not in my eyes, expected Boye Mafe to be there. Frankly, I would not move on from Boye Mafe. He's not finishing in the traditional sense of getting tackles for loss or getting sacks. He's still getting into the backfield at a high rate, and he's pushing quarterbacks into other players. What I would say about this is I think it's probably time to make a move at that right guard spot. I think I'm done with Anthony Bradford. We'll go into more detail on it in one of our segments today, but at this point, he's not good enough. But I do want to make sure that I remind you that the guy who's the backup for that spot is on IR, and that's Christian Haynes. And Christian Haynes lost that job before he got hurt. So you either need to make a decision with Olu Oluwatimi and have him come in at center and move Sundell out, or you need to go make a trade for one of those three guards that we had already brought up on a couple other videos, Wyatt Teller out in Cleveland, Joel Bitonio out in Cleveland as well, or Kevin Zeitler. One of those three guys needs to be brought in. You just kind of have to understand with those guys that other than Teller, like if you get 2 years out of them, you're going to be pretty happy. So thank you so much, Robert. We're going to make sure that you get in the mailbag, and Xander and Trigger as well. You guys will all be a part of that. Thank you guys so much. We love and appreciate you here. We love and appreciate everyone hanging out with us. If you want to be featured on the show, make sure you come in and use the hashtag Seahawks, or you can send in a super chat as well. You're not allowed to laugh in the middle of a read because then I read what is written and it's fantastic. So if you want to be a part of this show, this live, and a future video that's going to come out this weekend, use the hashtag Seahawks or send in a super chat like Trigger, like Robert, like Xander, and we'll get you guys taken care of there. Jessica, you asked me what my favorite animal is. You got to use the hashtag Seahawks, Jessica. Use the hashtag Seahawks, and then I'll be able to answer it. Oh, I do appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, I'll do the 6-7 joke. I got no issue with the 6-7 joke. Favorite? Let's see. Ooh, thank you, Paulie. I appreciate you liking the video. Let's see. What would I say my favorite animal is? Producer Reed, you think too. We're going to come up with our favorite animals.
I have mine already.
Oh, you do? Okay, you saved me. Let me know.
If we're talking about like animals I could have, a dog is my number one. But like just favorite animal in general, ever since I was a kid, it's always been a gorilla.
Gorilla?
Yep. I have a basically life-sized stuffed gorilla at my apartment right now.
Do you really?
I've had it since I was like 12.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Really cool.
And if anyone's like, that's so weird, I'd be like,
then
it's weirder that you don't have one.
Yeah, I was going to say, then you don't want to be a friend. Obviously, pet, it's dog, although I'm allergic to dogs, so I have to have a little cute purse dog. Peanut, he's still kicking, 16 years old. Shout out to Peanut. Got him on my, whatever you are in 7th grade. 7th grade, so 13th birthday? Yeah. So I guess he's 15. I've had him quite a while. And then I would say...
It was a gorilla, Jessica.
Ooh, gorilla. So then I would say the other thing, like for an animal-wise, recently I've been a big fan of cougars. I think that cougars are, they're a cool animal. Like they like to use their claws. They don't take any you-know-what from anybody else or anything else. They're not afraid of, other predators. They are a predator themselves. If they see something, they'll go after it. So I'd say cougar. Big fan of cougars. Wildcats too. They all work out. Thank you guys so much for getting in your hashtags. While you guys are sending in your hashtag Seahawks, remember you have to end it with hashtag Seahawks if you want to be on our third segment. It's how the computer pulls the stuff in. I don't know how it works. Producer Reed tried to explain it to me. I'm not very smart. So you just have to make sure that you use that hashtag. I do want to show you what segments we are going to go into today because, well, frankly, I think it's a loaded show. Now, on a lot of channels here, a lot of teams here, when you have a bye week, sometimes it can be hard to find output. It can be hard to find different things that you want to change, different love that the guys get, it's just hard to get stories because everyone's on a bye week. Everyone's taking a little bit of rest and relaxation. Well, the Seattle Seahawks, frankly, they're not resting. They're not resting on their laurels. They know how close they were to getting into the postseason last year, and so they're working through that, and so I have to do the same here. So we're going to go through a video on the defensive changes that I would make. If you're looking at yourself saying, Will, why are you only talking about the defense? There's going to be a video that might come out tomorrow morning that's going to talk about the offensive changes, and I thought it would be a good way to kind of tease that and give you guys an opportunity to go and check that out. Also, the Seahawks are finally getting some love in the national media. I'm going to let you know what people were coming out talking highly about your Seattle Seahawks and also what they had to say, because every single person that we're going to reference talked about something different that's going well for your Seattle Seahawks. What did they talk about? I guess you'll have to stay until segment 2. And then, of course, our mailbag. So make sure you use the hashtag Seahawks if you want to be a part of that, or like Robert, like Trigger, like Xander, you can send in a super. We're appreciative of everybody who does that. And if you if you're not able to, that's okay too.
Something that is kind of crazy right now. Oh, I looked away and it was gone. But we had 52 viewers and 52 likes.
Dude, we got the best people in the business. We got the real ones.
These are some great fans, man.
We got the best in the business here at Seahawks Today. We've got real fans who ask smart questions. They're very football knowledgeable, right? They support the show. They support producer Reed. They support me. They come in. They like the videos. That helps bring in more Seahawk fans. But more importantly, it shows us that you guys care. And we truly do love that here on Seahawks Today. Love all the questions that you guys are asking. Yes. This is actually kind of the part that I'm the most excited about. I've been kind of giddy all day. I'm not going to lie. Woke up early, and I want to say thank you to everybody. I've been kind of pumping the road to 75K, 74K. Well, we finally got to 74K yesterday. That is, I believe we've now grown the channel as a group, because this is a group effort. This isn't just me. This isn't just producer Reed. This isn't just producer Colin. This is you guys hanging out, the real ones at Chat Sports. It's Jessica, it's Trigger, it's Jimmy, it's Robert, it's Xander. Fans like you guys helping us grow the channel, grow your Seahawks propaganda machine is what I've been calling it recently. And we are now at 74K. That came through this morning. I was up at 5. Got up at 5 just to check specifically because I knew we were close. So I want to say thank you so much, but it doesn't just stop here. New goal, 75K. I'm hoping to make it by the end of October. I know that's a big and lofty goal. I'm going to work my butt off. So if you know anybody, anyone at all who loves the Seattle Seahawks and hasn't had the opportunity yet to check out the channel, or you think they might like the channel, help us by sharing the channel. Hey, get them to subscribe. Why do you subscribe? You got free Seahawks content coming out every single day. It's literally my job to watch every single show and find every piece of information, every rumor, every news update, injury update for your Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to make sure that I do that for you. And sometimes we have videos like earlier today, the ESPN one, the Diana Rossini video as well, where those are behind paywalls. Those are stories. I'm going to go find it, give it out to you guys, the people, for free. So I wanted to say thank you so much. And the road doesn't stop here. We're getting all the way to 75K, and then watch out, 100K. Here we come. Awesome. Jessica wants us to chug a beer. Well, good luck. Maybe. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We can be enticed to chug a beer. Here's the part that's funny. I normally get to come in here and producer Reed and I, little peek behind the curtain. We talk to each other and then we go, hey, how many likes should we have the real ones, the fans of the show, give us before we start our first segment? And I remember the very first live, it was like, let's get to 5. And then it was like, let's get to 10. There are 58 people hanging out with us. We are at 56 likes. That's incredible. That is incredible. We appreciate it. I can't even ask for more likes. There's 55 now because a couple people, I don't know, had to go to the bathroom or something. 57 likes still. That's unbelievable. There's more likes in the chat than there are people hanging out with us. That's awesome. I love that. I appreciate it so much. And you know what? I'm not even going to ask. We're just going to get right into our first segment. Make sure, though, if you have a question that you want or need an answer to, what would I want for Boye Mafe? Okay, so Chat Sports host Mitchell Renz is over here asking what we want for Boye Mafe. What would we want for Boye Mafe? Maybe a day 2 pick, late round day 2? Maybe early day 3? What if we threw in Boye Mafe and like a 4th rounder or 5th rounder and JPJ? Is that something that you're willing? You don't even start him. You keep benching him. Well, we appreciate it, Jessica. Here, how about this, Jessica? If you send in something, I'll chug a beer for you. I'll chug a beer for you if you send in something. But you do not have to. Make sure your dad checks his DMs. I'm trying to send him a goodie bag, okay? Make sure he DMs me on Instagram. If you love the Seahawks, like the video, 64 of you hanging out with us, 66 likes. We're going to get into the first segment here. I'll come back afterwards and we'll have a conversation before we get into our second segment. I am ready, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome into today's show. I'm your host, Will Ortner. This is Seahawks Today, and we need to talk about the defensive changes that I would like the Seattle Seahawks to make during their bye week. This is the perfect opportunity to fix some of the things that you haven't been able to fix just quite yet for the entire season, because you got a long stretch that you need to excel at. because Seattle Seahawks have bigger plans than just getting through the regular season. Seahawks have big plans on getting into the postseason and being successful in said postseason. Before we get into these changes, though, I got to say thank you and clap it up, man. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, guys. We reached 74K subscribers just yesterday. It's awesome. I appreciate all of your guys' help. And now the road to 75K really ramps up. It's right there. It's in our sight. It's in our vision. It's less than 1,000 subs away. If we get there by the end of October, watch out. The channel just keeps growing. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know that I love you. All right. So the first defensive change that I would make for your Seattle Seahawks is actually one that you don't really control, and it's just a little bit different than I think most people would go into, but you need to get healthy, man. You need to get healthy in the secondary. The entire defense as a whole, but really the secondary. I mean, shoot. When you're looking at the key contributors to this defense, Devon Witherspoon is what? Maybe your 1, 2, 3 player on this defense. Guess who else is in that category? Julian Love, your safety. Both of those guys have missed extended periods of time. You've been hoping, praying, wishing that they'd come back. I thought that you might get them back in the Jaguars game. You were thinking, hey, maybe we'll get one of them back in the Texans game. You didn't get any of those guys back. It does sound like from Mike Macdonald that you are going to get Devon Witherspoon and Julian Love back after the bye week. That is huge. Derick Hall as well. Obviously, the outside linebacker is a backup for you, but he's been a key pressure getter for you in this defensive front seven that just continues to eat. Now, when I look at Devon Witherspoon's season stats so far, obviously they're not great. But then you look at what his totals are through how many games he's played, and all of a sudden it's, 17 tackles through 2 games. That's basically, 8.5 per game? That's a high mark for a corner. For a player like Devon Witherspoon that you can continue to bounce inside in the slot. You can bounce him on the outside as a corner. I mean, shoot, the way that this defense runs, sometimes you might use him as a third safety. The ability to have versatility for Devon Witherspoon in this defense is absolutely massive for you. Getting him back, getting him rocking and rolling, getting him ready to go is only going to make this defense stronger, especially as you've seen the growth and progression from a player like Nick Emmanwori, a player who continues to excel in the slot. Imagine having a slot safety that is Nick Emmanwori, and also on the opposite side when a team goes for wide receivers, having Devon Witherspoon out there in the slot as well. Absolutely massive. The next one, Julian Love. He is the captain of that secondary for you. 18 tackles on the season. Frankly, you've really only seen one good game from him, and I should say good, I should say healthy, right? He has been beat up for most of the year. He's been dealing with that hamstring injury, getting him back, getting him in a position to where he can play a multitude of spots. Remember, you use Julian Love down in the box. You use Julian Love back in the back end. Getting him back and getting his communication out there is going to be key, so that way you don't have players that are 2 guys covering the same wide receiver and 1 wide receiver is running free all by himself. Last guy, obviously, Derick Hall. Big season. What we don't go into account enough here is while he doesn't have a sack on the year, his pressure rate is high. They were comparing his pressure marks with Micah Parsons at one point in this season. You saw it as soon as he went out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with his oblique injury, that it's just a different defense. It's not a weak defense. That's clearly that would be a mistake to say. It's just a different defense. It's a defense that doesn't have as many opportunities and options to get to the quarterback. This defense is going to get stronger, not because players aren't playing up to their capabilities, not because players haven't reached their full potential, but because you are going to reach the full potential of this defense because you won't be hamstrung, see what I did there, by injuries. You will not be stopped by a lack of skills that, frankly, just some of your backups have, right? A Ty Okutta is only going to be so good. And that's not an attack on Ty. It's just Julian Love is better. There's a reason why he's a starter. So getting this defense back and fully complemented, man, oh man, watch out. That's a great bye week change as everyone gets healthy. The other big one for me is the communication factor. Now, I briefly mentioned it with Julian Love, but how many times this year have we seen just issues with one safety thinking that he should have the flat, the other corner thinks that he should have the flat, Now you got Emeka Ibuka all by himself running free. There's a picture here that we have, and we're going to throw it up on the full screen. And I want to make sure that I highlight the top corner. You are going to see there's a Jaguars wide receiver that's running out looking like he's about to block. That's Brian Thomas Jr. He is faking a bubble screen here. Now, because we can't show the video, you just have to trust me, but if you want to go look it up later, you can. He fakes a bubble and wheels out for a touchdown. Right over here, he's going to fake and wheel out for a touchdown. And both Nick Eamon-Wari, who is right there, there we go, and Shaq Griffin, who's right there, they're both going to go to the bubble screen right over there. And Brian Thomas Jr. runs free all by himself. Now, that is just one instance that I have shown you. That is just one situation where it came up. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it happened multiple times. It happened a couple times as well against the Houston Texans. That offense just sucks, so you didn't get burned by it. Every once in a while, you see a lapse in communication from this secondary, and it has been a killer. It's been a reason why teams have stayed in games. It's also been a reason why teams were able to beat you. You need Julian Love back out there communicating the defense the way that it should be. And if it's not him out there, then guess what? Kobe Bryant has to take over. I understand that some of the issues right now for you are because you're on your second and third string guys. It needs to get fixed. The second and third string guys need to get further ahead, and Julian Love coming back from his injury will help fix this. You need to fix the communication. I'm at a point where I'd rather have everyone talking too much and be a little slow to spots, but still be in the right spots, than not talk enough, because it seems like the Seahawks have had too many issues of not talking enough, and that's allowed for some big plays from opposing teams. Look, it's a little bit negative today, and it's not supposed to be. You have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Frankly, you might have the best defense in the NFL. So I do want to get a little positive on today's show. Who has been your defensive MVP? Go down below in the comments and let me know. I think if I had to lean on anyone right now, it might be Byron Murphy II. What he's doing at that nose guard spot is just incredible, but I want to know who you think it is. Let me know down below. We're going to get into my last fix that the Seahawks need to make, or change the Seahawks need to make on defense. But before I do that, I want to tell you about our proud sponsor, and that, of course, is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you could cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of your picks does not hit. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. I have a 3-pick power play for this weekend. Jamar Chase, more on his receiving yards. Bijan Robinson, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. And Jonathan Taylor, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Now, the last defensive change that I want to talk about is more of a philosophy. Now, think about how good the Seahawks defense has been. They're flying around. Teams aren't really able to run the football against them. They're making big plays. They're getting turnovers. But how are they getting those turnovers? They're all interceptions. Would you believe it if I told you that the Seahawks have not forced a single fumble this season in 2025? Not one fumble has been forced. That's absolutely insane. You got to have your guys going after the football more, getting aggressive with that peanut punch, trying to rip at it. I mean, shoot, when you have a defense that continues to perform at the level that they have been in Seattle, how do you not just dumb into a fumble? I mean, shoot, how have you not had a quarterback fumble a snap? How have you not had a snap go over someone's head? These things just happen all the time, magically out of thin air for other teams, but not the Seahawks team. And I think that Seattle does a good job of making sure that they get people down. But now, trust yourself. Hey, if I'm Drake Thomas and I'm coming in for a tackle and I know I got Ernest Jones behind me and I got Leonard Williams on the other side, well, I'm going to come in and try and punch at that ball, or I'm going to grab it. at the top and try and rip it out. You go through these practices where you're practicing drills on how to force fumbles. You need to start getting them going for your team. Interceptions have been great, but turnovers can flip games. They flip momentum, especially when it comes in from a forced fumble. I feel like fixing this is going to be very easy for this defense. All you got to do is just have more of a focus to it. Be more attentive. Hey, the ball carrier's got the ball way out here. I can come in, punch at it. I can rip at it. I can get this ball out. When you're coming in for a quarterback, and they got their back turned to you, right? And they're coming here, getting ready to throw. Boom. Come in, knock the ball down. Nick Bosa did that to you. We need to get some punch outs, please. We need to get the ball punched out and get the ball on the ground. Your Seattle Seahawks have got to start forcing more fumbles. These are the defensive changes that I want to see happen in Seattle. Obviously, getting healthy, you don't really control that, but it is important. You need to get there. The communication, you do control that. Be over-communicative. Do the things that your girlfriend or your boyfriend gets mad at you for not doing. Talk. Use your voice. Make sure everyone's on the same page. It's not that hard. Take the extra second. Make sure that you're communicating what the play is and where people need to be. And last but not least, go in and force some GD fumbles. Go force a fumble every once in a while. We're 7 weeks into the year, and the Seahawks have zero forced fumbles. Got to find a way to get those balls out and get them on the ground. Help flip games for you. Thank you again so much. I love and I appreciate every single one of you that came in and helped us get to 74K. Now we're making it another 1,000 further. We're going to get to 75K. Hopefully we're able to do it by Halloween. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. All right, who's been your defensive MVP? Let me know down below in the comments. Smoke Burp, how you doing? Good to see you. Missed you. Dude, I don't know how this is possible. 84 likes, 79 viewers. That's incredible.
They came in, liked the video, and they're like, all right, see ya.
All right, see ya. We're going to make sure we show the support to Will and producer Reed, and then we're out of here. Justin, D-Law, even if his stats may not show it. Dude, D-Law has been awesome. D-Law has been awesome for your Seattle Seahawks. We've been unlucky, and we were 5-2. Couldn't agree more there. Murphy's been my defensive MVP. What up, Light Shadow Onyx? How you doing? Ed just said test. I'm a little confused. Ed, are you doing a mic test, bud? Are you doing what producer Reed and I do before we get going? Justin, we caused a few fumbles. We just haven't recovered them. On ESPN, you're listed right now as 0 forced fumbles. Crazy. Testing. I love this. Our Seattle Seahawks. Yes, Ryan, it is our Seattle Seahawks. I agree with you, Smoke Burp. We're going to get our luck going back the other way. Alejandro, we need a right guard. Hey, good thing it is. It's coming that way, man. Good thing it's coming that way. Smoke Bird talking about Tyler Lockett. Yeah, he does have a real estate license. I think he's like sells to other millionaires. I think that's his big deal. That's his big thing. Seth, maybe the Cowboys will be silly and give us a good player we can use as several first round picks. Hey, maybe they'll trade Boye Mafe for a couple first rounders. That'd be great. Big Bro, trade Bradford. Yeah, I think that's coming up. I think that'll come up in due time. I think I'd like to say I appreciate Jimmy and Paulie for using the hashtag Seahawks. If you want to be featured on a show, it'll be going out not only today, because you'll be a part of this show, but you'd also be a part of a video that goes out, I can't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday, but it'll go out this weekend. Use the hashtag Seahawks, or you can send in a super chat. Robert and Trigger Xander, they already sent in their super chats. They are going to be on the show, guaranteed. Use the hashtag Seahawks. We can only poll so many. So you'll have an opportunity. We've had a couple people like Julian who've been on multiple shows, but not everybody has. And so just be aware of that. Want to make sure that everybody kind of understands what the deal is there. If you're not following me on social media, head on over to Twitter and Instagram at Will Ortner. On Instagram, I look very dashing, very handsome. I'm in a suit. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm giving my best man speech. And then on Twitter, I am a 7th grader, and I have hair. It's a mullet and sports goggles. And I'm celebrating a Glenwood Little League district victory, getting ready to go to state. Yeah, I thought I was going to Williamsport. Thought I was going to go to the Little League World Series. Unfortunately, not for me. But here's why you want to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. It's not because of the pictures of me in suits, because they're just not that good. What I do give you is constant content about your Seattle Seahawks. The minute news breaks, I tweet it out, I make a video, I post it on Instagram, and then I'm able to post some of that stuff over on YouTube. So you'll get it as soon as possible. You're also going to see some things that don't quite make the shows. Believe it or not, I do cut some things out of the show that I post on Twitter. Hey, here's a cool stat about this player. Hey, here's a cool fact about this person, this player. Here are my thoughts quickly. I was having a conversation with what up? Light Shadow Onyx, thank you so much. We'll pop you up here in just 1 second. I had something the other day where it was just kind of a thought. A fan tweeted out a potential trade idea to me, and so we went and had a back and forth for a little bit on Twitter about why I thought that would be a good trade or a bad trade, or how to restructure the trade that can be more favorable to Seattle that I still think would go through. So if you want to be a part of that, you can obviously head over there. Light Shadow Onyx, what up, man? Good to see you. Tom Brady put the Seahawks at number 10 in his power rankings. I think that's way too low. The Seattle Seahawks are much, much better than 10th. I think at this point, it's not Joel Klatt. It was Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel Jeremiah said that he believes the best 2 teams in the NFC are the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Could not agree with him more. At this point, obviously, Philly, producer Reed's team, they are good, very good. I would be stupid to say that they're not. But I think you have like 3 or 4 teams, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, so 5, 6 teams that are all kind of the same, and they can all kind of bunch up in that NFC. And if your Seattle Seahawks are not one of those teams, then I think you're just silly and you're not really watching the games. I think that Brady should have the Seahawks closer to that 7-4 mark, somewhere in there. Obviously, when I do our power rankings here at Chat Sports, Seahawks are always one of the top 5 teams for me. That's just how good I think they are. But I think you're seeing a couple people on the East Coast that haven't gotten enough time to go and check them out. I think that's kind of what that is. ChatGPT was wrong. Oh, the next Seahawks game? Oh, NFL trade deadline. That's right. We're going to be doing videos on it on the Tuesday. Is that it? Yeah, that's a Tuesday. Ooh, shout out. Going to go at the trade deadline ends at 4 Eastern time. Is that 4 Eastern time? Am I correct on that? Something like that. So not a lot of time. Not a lot of time for your GM, John Schneider, to go in and make a move and make a decision. There are 70 of you hanging out with us. I'd love to say that we have a like number that we have to get to, but unfortunately, there's 20 more likes than there are people hanging out with us, Producer Reed. That's pretty crazy. We get lucky. Well, now there's even more. So coming up, we just went through the defensive changes videos. We're going to do the Seahawks get some love. Tom Brady might not have given us the type of love that we may want or desire in Seattle, but a bunch of other people did. Going to give you a hint. One of them's Pat McAfee. Ever heard of him? There's a couple other guys, and they gave the Seahawks some praise. We're going to dive into those comments, have a conversation about, do the Seahawks deserve them? Why are they the only guys who are having these conversations about the Seahawks? Are you going to start to see more love go the Seahawks' way? And then our third segment is going to be the mailbag. Make sure you use the hashtag Seahawks to get that over to us, or you can send in a super. Light Shadow Onyx, Robert Hale, Trigger, and Xander Great. They're all going to be on that video. Not only will they be on today's show, they'll also be on a video that comes out in just a little bit. Producer Reed, you think we're ready? I'd love to be like, let's get to 95 likes before. There's 74 people hanging out. Great number, by the way. Oh! Dan! the man Miller, Hall of Fame member of your Seahawks Today helmet. That's beautiful, Dan. Dan, that's beautiful. Shout out to you. Good to see ya. Dan the Man Miller. That's a real one. That's an OG. That's a guy who's been here with us since day one. Love and appreciate it. What do you think we need to do to jumpstart our running game? I think there's a couple things, okay? So the first thing that I think for the running game is I think there needs to be a change at right guard. I'm over the Anthony Bradford experience. I don't know what the change is. If you don't make a trade, that means you got to do it in-house. That probably means you're moving Olu Oluwatimi, who's your backup center right now. He goes to center. Jalen Sandell bounces out to right guard. The other option that you do is Christian Haynes once he comes off the IR, which does look like it's going to be week 10 probably. McDonald did say week 9 is an outside shot, which would be the Commanders game for Haynes to return, but he's been dealing with a pec injury. Those things take a while, and you'd never return with full strength, and that's a position at the O-line that you better have some strong pecs. Just saying. So those are your internal options. Your external is you go and make a trade. I've listed the big three to me are Zeitler over in Tennessee. He's an older guy, a guy that basically waited until the start of the year to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out and play. I'm going to be good to go. So you have to worry that he's a one-year rental. Joel Bitonio, an older player, but a player who, I mean, at this point, he's top 6, I believe, right now in guards, according to PFF. Again, so one of the better guards in the NFL, older as well. So how long are you really going to get him? But he is a great offensive guard. Or you go and get Wyatt Teller, the other guard over there in Cleveland. Again, he's a little bit younger, in his 30s, but that does kind of fit the age range of what this team is at. He's a very good guard, not quite as good as Bitonio, at least according to PFF. He's closer to like middle of the pack, but he's still above average. I want to say he's top 30 according to PFF. Now you do have to kind of work through some things with PFF, but if you're in that upper half, you're probably doing something pretty right, doing something pretty well. I think the other thing for you, Dan, you get Robbie Oots back. He's coming back out off of IR. Obviously, he missed a bunch of time with that ankle sprain. Does sound like he should be ready to go by week 9, although McDonald did say there is a possibility that maybe you give him an extra week after week 9 and you get him by week 10 just because he's a rookie, needs to ramp up. But getting Robbie Oots back into this offense, I think, helps jumpstart that running game. And I think that's going to be very important for the Seahawks, and I think it's going to help answer your question because the running game has been it's been mid. It needs to be better. And so I agree with you, Dan. I love it, man. I love you, Dan. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's freaking awesome, man. That's freaking awesome. Appreciate it. Dan's not only going to be on today's show, he's going to be on a show later on when we do our third segment. He'll get in. So if you want to get in on the action, you can send in a super chat or use that hashtag Seahawks. Sean, it's good to see you. Joshua, good to see you as well. Les, good to see you. Jimmy's been doing a great job using the hashtags, and Jimmy's very smart. He's giving me compliments. And, well, not a narcissist, but a little sis.
Jimmy, I can't use all of your questions because we can't hog the question well, but I definitely will use one of your questions, maybe two. Maybe I'll use one of the compliments.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if that T-shirt one got in there.
Yeah,
That'd be a shame. That would be a shame. Appreciate it. Alex, good to see you. Good to see you, Joshua, as well. So here's what we're going to do. 98 likes. Love and appreciate you guys for that. That's awesome. We're on the road. I don't know that we're going to quite break the record, but anytime we get over 100 likes, that's a pretty damn good day. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the second segment of the show. I'm going to tell you who's giving the Seahawks love, why they're giving them love, and why I think you're going to see this trend continue. And then we'll come back, we'll hang out, talk a little bit more, and we'll get into the very last segment of the day after that. So without further ado, we'll get rolling here in about 5 seconds. Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and finally, Finally, it's happened. No, not me getting a date. Yes, it's the Seahawks, and it's the Seattle Seahawks getting the love that they deserve from the national media. The national media for too long has ignored little old Seattle, Washington. Left coast, they don't give us the attention we deserve, but finally, the Seahawks are making some noise after that performance on Monday night. Before I get into it, though, obviously, we are in a bye week right now, basically at the halfway point of the season. So I want you to predict the Seahawks' final record at the end of this season. You're 5-2 right now. You've got 10 games left. How do the Seahawks fare in those 10 games? Let me know down below in the comments. Maybe I'll be firing off some of my takes. Remember, at the beginning of the year, I think I had the Seahawks winning 11 games. Might have had them winning 12. Looks like I got a pretty good shot of that becoming true. Now, enough about me being the first Seahawks believer. I need to let you guys know about Kyle Brandt and what he had to say on Good Morning America. This kind of was the jump start. Obviously, Colin Cowherd has been kind of hyping up our Seattle Seahawks, but as many of you have told me down below in the comments that, well, he's a Seattle fan. He's from Washington State. He graduated from Eastern Washington, right? Well, finally, you're getting some guys that have no Washington ties come in and say, we love the Seattle Seahawks. Kyle Brandt was on Good Morning Football, and he was just praising your Seattle Seahawks. And he had this point, which I think is the most important, before he got into his monologue about how great the Seahawks were. And it was, how are the Seattle Seahawks 5-2? And it's like they don't exist. How is that possible? Any other team is 5-2 in the NFL, and you're talking about them. I mean, shoot, the San Francisco 49ers are 5-2. Everyone and their mother is hurt, and I have to hear every day, well, is this the best coaching job that Kyle Shanahan has done? Is this the best coaching job that Kyle Shanahan will ever do? No, he's just getting lucky. Where is the talk of the Seattle Seahawks? Why aren't we heaping praise on Mike Macdonald, on Sam Darnold, on Jackson Smith-Njigba? Well, Brand finally made sure to go and do that, because when he started talking about JSN, it was not of, well, he's having a very good year, or JSN is a player that is rising up the ranks. He's becoming one of the best receivers in the NFL. No. It was Seattle moved on from DK Metcalf, and they got better. When you have this picture up on the screen right now, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the number one wide receiver in the NFL. It isn't Jamar Chase. It isn't Justin Jefferson. It isn't Puka Nacua. It isn't George Pickens. It's Jackson Smith-Njigba. Right now, through 7 weeks, he has 819 yards. The next closest person to him is Jamar Chase with 626 yards. The Seahawks are not going to play a game. Not going to play a game this week. And JSN will still be the number one receiving yards leader in the NFL. Look at his last 3 games. They are video game-esque. 8 receptions in all 3 of those games. Over 120 yards in all 3 of those games. He has a touchdown in all 3. And here's the thing. He probably should have 3 or 4 more. Here's the part that's crazy. He had 162 against the Jags. He'd probably tell you he should have had 180. He almost had 200. He just had a drop ball and a ball that just got out of his grasp. Kyle Brandt said that in the offseason, the Seahawks took a gigantic risk. And it came up money for them with Jackson Smith-Njigba. You're looking at a receiver that is on pace to break the NFL receiving yards record. And he's on pace to be just short, 11 yards short of 2,000. I think he's got a shot at getting to 2,000. And finally, you're getting some love thrown his way. Now, you get a twofer in the next crew, because on the Pat McAfee show, Pat McAfee brought in an NFL expert, Pete Schrager, and he said, hey, man, you're at the Seattle Seahawks game. Here are the things that I saw the Seattle Seahawks doing well. And Pete Schrager not only said, yes, I think that those things were done well, but let me expand upon them. And McAfee and Schrager just continued to gush and gush and gush and gush about this Seahawks defense. How the front 7 was coming in and making plays and getting big stops. They were talking about Leonard Williams constantly making plays, being in the backfield, just being an absolute nuisance. Talking about Ernest Jones not letting anyone get past him, constantly making tackles in the backfield, constantly flying around, making big stops. Talking about a secondary that is injury-riddled, but Reek Woolen coming back from a concussion, absolutely locking down the Texans' wide receiving crew. Talking about Nick Eamon-Warry being basically the same size as a linebacker, but quick enough to run with the short little slot receiver. It's unbelievable what this defense can do, and McAfee and Schrager could not stop talking about them in only the way that they could, by doubling down on the Seahawks and the Seahawks defense. This is the last 2 weeks that you've seen from the pressure that you've been able to force. 11 sacks, 21 QB hits. But most important are the pressures. When you played Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, every other pass was under pressure. He never felt comfortable. He was never able to set his feet. And with most teams, when you have high numbers like this, it's because, well, TJ Watt went off. Or Trey Hendrickson had a big game. Or Micah Parsons. Or insert star edge rusher here. So who's the star edge rusher for the Seahawks? He isn't there. You got 4 guys right now who are performing at an elite level with that pressure. DeMarcus Lawrence is tied for 12th in the NFL. 12th. Byron Murphy II is tied for 16th. Uchenna Nwosu, a guy who's missed games this year, still performing at a high level. Right now, since his return to injury, he's tied for 1st in the NFL in sacks. He's got 5 of them. 5. Leonard Williams, tied for 20th right now in the NFL for pressure leaders. Now, that's getting in the quarterback's face, maybe not necessarily hitting him, but making him uncomfortable, making him have to get rid of the ball quicker, or making him have to move out of the pocket. You have 4 guys who are in that pressure leaders mark, and if Derick Hall doesn't get hit, you might have 5 of them. You might have freaking 5 of them. And it's not just pass defense that you're stopping. Look at what you're doing on the rush defensive side. You want to be at the bottom part right now. Teams are averaging less than 3.5 yards per rush. And what they're expected to get on those rushes, they are getting less than they are expected. So if it's a first down and the entire NFL is averaging 3.5 yards a carry on a 1st and 10 run, that means the Seattle Seahawks are basically forcing teams to only run for 3 yards. If teams in the NFL are averaging 4, the Seahawks are holding them to 3.5. You are not just the best pass defense in the NFL, you're the best rush defense as well. Incredibly impressive from this group. I don't know that I would say that the entire group is the most impressive person that I've seen go through this crew. I think right now, the person I'm most impressed with is Uchenna Nwosu. That's a guy that a lot of people, Seahawks fans, had written off and said, hey, man, he's too injury prone. He's done. It's over. What has he done since he came back from injury? 5 sacks. He's leading your team in sacks. Since he's returned, he's tied for the lead in the NFL in sacks. He's just been basically returned to what he was 3 years ago. He's been very impressive to me. Who's been the most impressive Seahawk to you? Let me know down below in the comments. We're going to get into the last new Seahawks expert believer, but before we do that, I got to tell you about this insane deal over at chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Emerald City Football. Man, that thing is sweet. Sweet t-shirt. It is an insane deal. It was $35. It's now $13. Frankly, might even be a little bit less than that. I'd have to go in and double check. Chatsports.com/Seahawks t-shirt. I'm going to say it again because you don't want to miss out. It is a freaking awesome sweatshirt. Super cool. You want to support your Seahawks and support the Emerald City. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. The last of the Seahawks believers is someone that, well, I go back to my old radio days and I think about Chris Canty and I go, that guy's kind of a blowhard. And now I'm thinking, hey, that guy's pretty freaking awesome because he's talking about the Seahawks and he's talking about them in a glowing review. Chris Canty went on to ESPN's First Take. And I don't know if you know about this show, but First Take, you give opinions. And Chris Canty wanted to make sure that he let everybody know just how good your quarterback was in Seattle, and that is Sam Darnold. Canty continued to go out and say, hey, a lot of people look at the Seahawks and they don't really think of them as a true blue contender because when you look at the quarterback's name on the back of the jersey, you think of the New York Jets version of Sam Darnold. You think of a bad version of Sam Darnold. You do not think of the new Sam Darnold. Here's old Sam Darnold. And I get why some people think this. You have a quarterback that, aside from the Minnesota year, he's throwing for basically 60% or less on his completion percentage. You're looking at a guy who's throwing for more interceptions than he is for touchdowns. You're looking at a guy who got benched, who got sent away from multiple places. And even in Minnesota, he does so well all the way until the very end where he just falters. When you needed him most, like the Avatar, he vanished. But that's not what Sam Darnold is this year. He's already improved on that completion percentage number. Yes, the yardage. It isn't the number one in the NFL. It's certainly getting better. And I wouldn't blame his interceptions fully, completely on him. One ball hit the guy's helmet and just bounced into someone else's arms. Another ball was an incredible play by Cam Hayward. Like, those things happen. Sam Darnold's playing so well right now that he's in the MVP betting odds. And frankly, I'm a little upset about where he's at in them. He's at the bottom end. He's plus 3,300 right now. I think that he's had a better year than Jordan Love. Daniel Jones, I don't know about that. Dak Prescott's fine. Jared Goff, I think, and him are in the same conversation. I think Sam Darnold's in the same conversation as Matthew Stafford. Drake May, maybe same convo, maybe slightly above, but it ain't that crazy. It ain't that crazy. Patrick Mahomes is always going to be number one. Josh Allen's always going to be up there high. The only reason Lamar Jackson isn't up there high is because of his injury issues. But Sam Darnold right now isn't that far off from the top MVP betting odds. And frankly, he's going to continue to go higher and higher and higher. It feels good to finally see Seattle get some love. I'm tired, and I know all of you are, of our Seahawks, our Mariners, our teams being ignored because we play games just a little bit later than everybody else. And everyone wants to go to bed at a reasonable hour instead of do their jobs and come in and support our teams. So it feels pretty freaking good to see Kyle Brandt, Pat McAfee, Pete Schrager, and Chris Canty give us the love that we deserve and show our team the praise that they deserve. Because they're really freaking good. And they're getting better every single week they go out onto the field. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you love the Seahawks just as much as I do. And if you do, subscribe to the channel. We got videos coming out every single day that you will not want to miss. Bless you, Producer Reed. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with all of us. 108 likes, man. That is freaking awesome. What up, Ben? It's good to see you. I try and say hi to everyone who comes in and says hi to us, hangs out with us. Alt Edits, what up? W to you, man. W to you. Smoke Burpee's got less picks than last year. Sam Darnold, love that. Sam Darnold. Ben, I almost wonder if Sam Darnold's like aha moment is like, you just get a little bit older. Sometimes you need a little bit more perspective. And when you get a little bit more perspective, then you are able to, just kind of see things in what's most important and take care of those things in a way that only you can, right? So I've been very impressed. It is a aha moment for him. Cody, thank you so much for sending me that DM. I got it. I'm going to get you taken care of before I leave today, okay? I'm going to get you taken care of before I leave today. Scott, what do you think about Colin Cowherd throwing after the Mariners lost and dropping the Hawks after a Monday night? I'll have to go and check it out. I haven't gotten a chance to fully dive into Cowherd on that. I wonder with him as well. He's a veteran of the game. He understands the content industry. And sometimes Colin likes to zig while everyone else zags. And so now that the Seahawks are starting to get a little bit of love, maybe he's going, I'm going to switch and change and do this or do that when he doesn't necessarily need to. This is your last moment. Not last moment, but you only have a few more moments. God bless you, Producer Reed. Use the hashtag Seahawks, or you can send in a super chat like Dan the Man Miller, Light Shadow Onyx, Robert Hale, Trigger, and Xander the Great to get on the show. Not only are you getting on the show today, but you also get on a VOD, which means video on demand, later on this weekend. I believe it's going to come out on Sunday. I believe it's the Sunday video. If not, it might be the Saturday video, which means you just need to watch both videos. Unfortunately for you all, you just have to watch both videos, not only because the content's very good, but because you might want to see yourself on there, which I think is pretty freaking cool. Producer Reed likes to see himself on there. Producer Reed, you guys don't know this, super chats every show, every single one. He's made of money. He's money bags. I've gone to his house once. Has a moat. Does your apartment have an emote?
If that's what you want to call my pool.
You have a pool? Must be nice. I don't have a pool.
Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah.
Where?
You know where the garage is?
I know where the garage is.
Where we've walked up the street there?
Yeah.
On that side?
There's a pool?
It's on that side, yeah.
I did not know that. I had no idea. Dan the Man Miller watches every video, man. Shout out to you. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Darius, you didn't miss much, man. We talked about some changes that the defense could make. Producer Reed sneezed a couple times. I've tripped and fell.
I do not have a cold. I'm allergic to
food.
Hot guys.
I didn't see a hot guy walk in here. It's not me.
I'm just kidding.
Certainly not me. Certainly not me. You know what's incredible? We have double the likes as we do followers. Or viewers right now. Not followers. Double the likes that we have viewers. I'm almost wondering if YouTube messed up. Did YouTube switch me around?
We also have 67 people watching.
Producer Reed is very excited that we have 60, 70 guys hanging out with us. Very excited. I still don't know what it means. I just pretend I do, so that way the youngs don't realize I'm old.
I'm not going to lie, me too. I really don't know how it came about, but it just happened.
There's a contingent of young people in the Chat Sports offices, and then they start doing things, and because I would like to fit in and not be old and start collecting AARP, I also start doing those things. I'm 28.
So Will's really only 4 years older than me, but he likes to say he's old.
I am old. I'm in my elder 20s. I can rent a car for cheap. That's exactly what I am. That's exactly what it is, Smoke Burp. That's exactly what it is. Except everyone at Chat Sports is 21 or up. Well, Producer Reed, it's the Steve Buscemi bit. It's the Steve Buscemi bit. Hello, fellow kids. That's okay. I've been hanging out with cougars anyways. Ooh, that's a good question, Jimmy. If that doesn't get answered in the show, I will make sure that I answer it later. Dan, you're not ancient. You're not ancient, man. You're not ancient. I will change how old or young I claim to be based on the situation. If it pays off for me to be young, then I'm young. If it pays off for me to be old, then I'm old. So here's what I think we're going to do, Producer Reed. What do you think on this idea? 3 minutes. That's going to give you guys plenty of time to get your final questions in, give you guys an opportunity to be a part of the mailbag and then be a part of the Sunday show. If you don't end up getting used, that's okay. Sorry, your question doesn't end up getting used. That's a better way to phrase that, William. Make sure that you come back next Thursday. We'll be live next Thursday, and we'll do the mailbag segment again. So that way I have plenty of opportunities to answer any questions that you have. Look at that. Producer Reed, best in the business. I was going to use my phone like a primitive Neanderthal, but instead, Producer Reed's going to get it up here on the screen and show you guys. So if you have a question, last minutes, make sure that you send them in, and we appreciate it. We will do our best to answer any of those questions that you send our way. You're still a baby boy. Yes, I am. To one person, and that would be my mother. Probably not to anybody else. I didn't like the face you made there. that was awkward. I don't know what you're talking about. I just did a video where I don't have any girlfriends. I don't go on dates. I am fan of the cougar as an animal, though. They are They lie in the weeds. They wait for you. They sneak up and they pounce. They get you. Their sharp claws. Like, gotcha. No, I didn't. No, I did not. All right. We're having too much fun. Smoke burp, they cook good too. I've heard that. Yes, they are, Jimmy. Yes, they are. They're doing pretty darn well.
I love how anytime Jimmy says anything, #Seahawks.
He does. He makes sure that he gets them in there. Of course, Jimmy. We love to feel connected with you too, man. We love anyone that comes in, interacts, has a good time with the show. That's our job here, man. Just have fun, talk some football with a lot of good and smart Seahawk fans. Appreciate that. Also, why does your quarterback? I guess I shouldn't say yours, Jimmy. I don't know if you're a fan of BYU. Why does Bachmeier wear 44 or 47? My bad, 47. Why does he wear 47?
I don't know, but it's kind of cool.
It kind of rocks because
it's kind of cool.
See, but it rocks right now because he's doing well.
Yeah, I hated it, poorly, and then I saw he was like kind of balling out. I was like, all right, it's cool.
Same trigger, same. Did they coog it? No, but there's plenty of time for me to. Can we sweep the? Oh, We'll have to get Robert's question up there. Well, then I'll answer it right here. Yes, I think we can, Robert. Yes. No. I answered it right there. Yes, I think we can. The key is going to be how well your defense can get after Matthew Stafford and how well you can run the football. I think that defense is really good in LA. And if you let Verse, pin his ears back and understand, like, hey, you have to throw the football here, I don't like that for your offense. Defensively, don't let Matt Stafford be comfortable. Hey, they keep finding a way to win, man. They keep finding a way to win, Jimmy. I've been very impressed. All right, so we're down to 0 on the countdown to the mailbag. So here's what we're going to do. Producer Reed's got to hit some buttons on the back end that I still don't totally understand how it all works, but he's going to get the show loaded up and ready to go. We can hang out here and chat for a little bit, but once he's ready to go, we'll fire through on our last segment, and then we'll come back and say bye-bye. But I appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us. Those of you guys who sent in supers, appreciate every single one of you. Dan the Man Miller, thank you for watching every episode. Thank you to Light Shadow Onyx, Robert Hale, Trigger, and of course, Xander the Great. And of course, as well, thank you to everyone who is chatting with us. Jimmy, Smoke Burp, Jessica, who's in here earlier, Christy, anyone else that I haven't had a chance to mention. I want to say thank you so much for coming in, having conversations with us, having a good time, because that's what we try to do here on a Thursday. Just have fun, talk about the Seahawks, and hopefully talk about the Seattle Seahawks winning some football games. So without further ado, I got the A-OK from producer Reed, and it looks like it's about time for us to get ready to jump in. If you want to have a last-second temperature check, how do you feel close to the halfway point of the season? You can put those down below. I'll answer those as I come back from the mailbag before we sign out. Sound good? All right. We're going to get into the video. ASAP Rocky. Welcome into Seahawks Today. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and normally I tell you to like the video because the Seahawks just beat a team, or to like the video because the Seahawks are going to beat a team. But here is the beauty of the bye week. You don't play another team in the NFL. So if you love the Seahawks, come on in and smash that like button. If you don't like the Seahawks, apparently I've been told to like the video anyways. Trigger! What is up? Good to see you. Real one in the building. Clint Kubiak needs to drop the trick plays. He is not Ben Johnson. Dude, hashtag retweet. I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I don't need Jalen Milroe stupid. Hey, we're going to come out and run a speed option play here. I don't need any more Cooper Kupp throwing the football. You have a good offense already. You move the ball without needing to use those trick plays. I get it, though. Sometimes you want to put a trick play up on the board. Sometimes you want teams to think that, hey, maybe we will run this trick play or this gadget here or this, whatever. Here's the thing. If you're going to do it, be successful with it. Right now, the Seahawks aren't successful with it. So stop. Knock it off. You've lost your trick play privileges. It's like, when you get in trouble with your parents, they take your Xbox away. Clint Kubiak, I've taken away your trick plays. Also, Blue Jays in 6. Still crying tears for my Mariners. Although, it would be cool if the Blue Jays win, because then I can say the Mariners got third. Dan the Man Miller. What up, man? Good to see you. How you doing? Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Real one. Oh, my goodness. What do you think we need to do to jumpstart our running game? I think a couple things that you need to do. First, you need to get healthy. Robbie Oots coming back off of IR. Now, Mike Macdonald did say that he might need some extra time to ramp up and be ready to go for your offense. So I don't know that he's going to be 100% ready for week 9 at this moment. Might have to wait a little bit until week 10 to get him going. But as you can see, we haven't had the backfield completely healthy basically this entire year. You got Zach Charbonnet, who was out in the Saints game, and since then, Robbie Oots hasn't been healthy. So you go through this whole preseason where you're using the fullback, you're grinding it out. It leads to easier pass plays out of the backfield. Well, you haven't been able to do that because you haven't had Robbie Oots. You haven't had Zach Charbonnet for a game. So you've had 2 games where you got to see the full complement of this offense. And in that first game, Clint Kubiak, for whatever reason, got scared. Robert Saleh's scary. He's tough, intimidating to everyone except for Liam Cohen. And he got away from using the fullback. So what I would say is start using the fullback more and then make a change at right guard. I'm over the Anthony Bradford experience. I don't know if you need to go in and make a trade. I don't know if the move is to stay inside the house and you boot in Christian Haynes or Jalen Sundell moves over and Olu Oluwatimi becomes the starter at center, but I'm done with Anthony Bradford. You're looking at an offensive lineman who, if I remember correctly, is ranked 73rd out of 81 guards in the NFL. 81, and he's 73rd. Probably not pretty good for you there. Thank you so much, Dan. Robert! What's up, dude? Good to see you. What roster moves would you like to see during this bye week? Well, so I've already kind of cheated. I'm done with Anthony Bradford. I'd like to move on from him. We're good. Let's change that train. I don't know if this is necessarily a roster move, but I would love to see your tight ends get used a little bit more. I would love to see A.J. Barner and Elijah Arroyo get the ball thrown to them, especially down low in the red zone. Barner has proven that he can make a lot of big plays that way. Arroyo is growing. He's getting better every single week. He's starting to block better. He's also starting to see the field more, know where to sit down in zone so that he's in an open spot, as well as also show everybody that he knows where to find, the man beaters. If he's in a man coverage or someone's in a man coverage on him, he's getting in and out of his routes crisply, cleanly. He knows, hey, this is a route that I need to run faster because Sam Darnold's going to look at me as the first read. He also knows, hey, this is a longer developing play, slower route. I can be a little bit more methodical about how I get open on this one. So those aren't really roster moves. If you were going to make a trade, I would like to see an offensive lineman brought in. I'm done with Anthony Bradford. Bring in an O-lineman. Go get one of the Cleveland boys. Go get one of the Tennessee guys. I think you can make a trade for them. They're dumpster fire sale. Go bring them in. Sam Darnold MVP. Didn't know that Sammy D was a big fan of Seahawks Today, but that's good for the boys. What team scares you the most in the NFC West? It's LA. At this point, Arizona's cooked. I saw a meme the other day where you got the 3 dragons, except they made them 4. And you got these 3 scary dragons, and then the 4th dragon's like what's going on? That's the Arizona Cardinals. So they're done. They're out. They're going to be no good. I look at the 49ers, and I have to believe that at some point, their injury luck is going to catch up with them. I mean, shoot, you don't have your starting middle linebacker, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL. There's no way that he's going to be good and ready to go for the rest of this year with that ankle injury. There's no way that they're going to continue to be good and keep winning. It's the LA Rams. The Rams keep winning. I don't know how. The ageless wonder. Matt Stafford continues to fight Father Time. It's in a draw right now. Father Time's undefeated, but he's been in a couple draws, and it looks like Matt Stafford's going to be one of those guys. Got to find a way to beat that team. That defense is freaking awesome. And Nakua, when he comes back, Puka, the second best receiver in the NFL. First, obviously, being Jackson Smith-Njigba. Light Shadow Onyx, what up to you? Good to see ya. Tom Brady put the Seahawks number 10 in his power rankings. Tom Brady is a Seahawks hater. I'm just kidding. But I think that the Seahawks need to be higher than number 10. Right now, when you look at the NFL as a whole, I think that the best teams are in the NFC because it's so close. I think you have to throw the Philadelphia Eagles in this list. I think you have to throw your Seattle Seahawks. I think you have to throw in, obviously, the Rams right now. I'd throw in Green Bay. I'd throw in Detroit. I think technically you kind of have to throw in the 49ers, even though I think they are going to fall off. They're Tampa as well. That would be a big miss by me. Not going to miss Tampa. They're obviously very good. But I just went through a list of 5, 6, 7 teams there that are all really stinking good. Where when you look at the AFC, maybe Buffalo, maybe Kansas City is figuring it out. Maybe and I don't even know that I buy into the Patriots. So when I look at the rankings, Seattle obviously in the top 10. I would rank them a little bit higher than 10. I would have them somewhere in that 7 to probably 5 mark. 7 to 5 mark. That's about where I'd have them. Xander the Great. Seen you every single week, man. That's awesome. Every Thursday, Xander's in the building, hanging out with the boys. Should we get Tyler Lockett back so he can possibly retire as a Seahawk? Yes, but I think it's a different way than you would think, Xander. I would not bring Tyler Lockett back as a Seahawk this year. I would bring him back for a one-day and let him retire the way that he needs to be. But right now, when you look at the Seahawks depth chart, who is he replacing? Is he better than Jackson Smith-Njigba? No, no one is. Is he better than Cooper Kupp right now? No, Cooper Kupp's a little bit younger, a little bit faster right now. He knows where to run his routes. He's a little bit stronger, better in the blocking game. He knows how to get open on third downs, and he makes those crucial catches. Torrey Horton is Tyler Lockett when Tyler Lockett was, 1 year in the league, 2 years in the league, 3 years in the league. He's a younger, faster cat. He's a guy who it's going to take him a little bit of time, but once he does figure it out, kid's special. Then you look at all the backups. Bobo, Young, all play on special teams. They're all big special teams guys for you. And Cody White's a guy who's bounced back and forth between P-Squad and with the active roster. Another guy who plays special teams. At this point in his career, Tyler Lockett doesn't. So yes, Tyler Lockett should come back and retire as a Seahawk, but he should do it on a one-day contract. I don't want to see him for any extended period of time for your Seattle Seahawks. That'd be no good. If you love the Seattle Seahawks, you love NFL content, make sure you subscribe to the channel here on Seahawks Today. You do not want to miss out. Got great videos. Got great opinions, if I do say so myself. And every time you subscribe and watch a video, you get to see my pretty smiling face. So make sure you go and smash that sub button. I want to get into some more questions from you, the viewers. But before I do that, I need to tell you about our fine friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. If your picks are right, you could cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. I have a 3-pick power play for this weekend. Jamar Chase, more on his receiving yards. Bijan Robinson, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. Jonathan Taylor, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Joe Mama 67676767. Chat sports burner, clearly. Can JSN get 2,000 yards this year? Yes. Yes, Joe Mama. I do think that JSN could get to 2,000 yards. Now, he has to keep playing at the level and the rate that he has been, but I think what you've seen in not just the NFL, but in sports in general, when you have a player that's close to a record and a team can kind of control that, they do. Think of Russell Westbrook. Do you remember when he was going for his entire year triple-double average? Going into the last month of that season, you'd have Steven Adams boxing out and keeping everyone back so that Russell Westbrook could go in all by himself and get a rebound. He just had to show up. Think about last year. Mike Evans was going for 10 years in a row of 1,000 yards receiving, whatever that record was. And what did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? They throw him a bubble screen in a meaningless game that they're already up, that the game's already over, just so that he can break that record. If Jackson Smith-Njigba going into that final month is within 600 yards of 2,000, they're going to find a way to make sure that he gets there. They are going to make sure that Jackson Smith-Njigba gets to 2,000 yards. And I think as long as he doesn't get hurt, if he stays healthy the whole way, why can't he, man? No one can guard that guy, inside or outside. He's freaking special. Paulie, what up, man? Good to see you. Or man, good to see you. True or false, Seahawks will trade at least 2 players by the deadline. I'm going to say false. I do think you make a trade, though. There's just so much buzz and rumors and things going around. I mean, shoot, the Rappaport rumor on Reek Woolen was a month ago, and everyone was pretty clear on that came from inside the front office. It was pushed out there that Seattle wanted to trade Reek Woolen. So I do think the Seahawks trade a player. I just don't know that you get to 2 right now. And I don't know that Reek Woolen's even the one that you get traded. But I think with the amount of rumors that are flying around for your Seahawks, the amount of buzz, it's been clear from the insiders. Rossini said it, Schefter said it, Fowler said it. It's that Bowen said it. You have all these pieces that people are trying to trade, either because they don't fit into the current team or they're not going to fit into the future of the franchise, that are just trying to get offloaded, get moved on from, especially a lot of guys that are in the last year of the contract. I think the Seahawks will make a move. They'll go and make a play, especially when you've shown how well you can play so far up to this year. If you can go and add an extra corner, or you can go in and add an offensive lineman, especially a right guard. If you can go and do those things, now you're going from a 5-2 team to maybe you're a team that can be 8-2, 9-2, right? Maybe you're a team that you're not talking about, hey, will you get to the postseason as a wild card? It's, are you going to get a home game? Maybe even look at, are you a team that could potentially get a bye? So, yes, I think the Seahawks make a trade. I just don't know if it's 2. I'd say false on 2. Jimmy, what up, dude? Good to see you. I don't think we can afford to lose depth at cornerback. Keep Woolen. So, Jimmy kind of agrees with me right there. He wants to keep Reek Woolen in the building. Now, what I do find interesting, Jimmy, is maybe you trade Reek Woolen, but are you able to trade Reek Woolen for a Russell Douglas or a Roger McCreary? Does that change your opinion? Because right now, I agree with you. Keep Reek Woolen in the building. He showed you what he can do on Monday night. I mean, he gave up 2 catches? Whatever that number was against the Texans. But if you move on from him, do you bring in another corner that fits more of the zone scheme, the zone system that you want to see in the Mike Macdonald system? Because Reek Woolen, great man coverage corner. Great. Ideal. Fast. Long. Strong. In the zone, you need to be a little bit more of a thinker, and we've seen some lapses in judgment from Reek Woolen. So maybe that's an opportunity if you do move on from Woolen, which Jimmy disagrees with. Maybe if you go in and you get a corner that fits the system a little bit better, maybe that could be an upgrade there as well. Smapoy boy. Sma. Remember, if I pronounce your name incorrectly, I didn't. You just heard it incorrectly. Is Drew Lock someone to look at being traded by the deadline? I would say no, because you already had reports on Drew Lock being called about by the Cincinnati Bengals. So when the Bengals were looking at potentially who their backup was going to be once they decided Jake Browning wasn't going to work, hey, do you go right to Joe Flacco? No. They went to the Seahawks and asked about Drew Lock. Now, the Seahawks obviously were like, give us Trey Hendrickson, give us more. And that wasn't something that they were willing to do over in Cincinnati. But I think right now for your Seattle Seahawks, I think Drew Lock is going to stay. I think there was a hope that maybe Jalen Milroe could grow into that role. He just isn't there yet. That's fine. He was a player that it was going to take time for him to grow into that role. So right now you're sticking with Drew Lock, and he's going to be someone that's going to be a backup for you in Seattle, and I love that. The real John Pork, as opposed to the fake John Pork. Love that. Good to see a real John Pork. That's awesome. In your opinion, will the Seahawks make a move by the trade deadline? Yeah. I think I'm at that point. I think the Seahawks do make a trade at the deadline. Am I willing to risk my life on it? No, probably not. But I think at this point, there's been enough rumors around the Seahawks, and you have a team that has a glaring need offensively. You need a right guard. And I want to remind everybody, Christian Haynes was beaten out by Anthony Bradford pretty soundly. So do you magically think that after having a pec injury, Christian Haynes is going to come back and be better than Anthony Bradford? I certainly don't. Do you think that moving Jalen Sundell and Oluwatimi up to the starting center, Sundell to that right guard? Maybe. Maybe that's an option. But if you don't like what's in the house or in the building right now, you better go make a move. You better go make a trade. So I could clearly see one being there. I could also see maybe a potential, hey, we trade Reek Woolen, but we get someone back on the back end. Back, so it's less of like a, hey, we're moving on from a corner, and more of a, we're trying to strengthen that corner room with someone who's played a little bit more, a little bit better. Jessica, what up? Jessica's a real one. She and her dad, Cody, are hanging out at every single watch party that we have. What is your favorite team's what is your guys' favorite team except the Seahawks? So I can't pick my Seattle Seahawks. I find myself more than ever, Jessica, watching the LA Chargers. And I think it's because I find Harbaugh weird. Like the fact that he wouldn't eat chicken because he thought it was a scared bird is hilarious. The fact that he gets excited and goes on these like gigantic soliloquies where he basically says he wants to marry football, and the only reason he doesn't marry football is because he's not allowed to. Like, you do realize that Jim Harbaugh, who's the coach over at LA for the Chargers, he records his family's conversations in the car so that he can listen back to them. Like, he's insane, but he's insane in like the best ways. And he's a winner. He won at San Diego. He won at Stanford. He won in San Francisco. He won in Michigan. He's going to win in LA. And I'm also a Duck guy, so I got to support my guy, Justin Herbert. I like Justin Herbert a lot. I like the offensive lineman that they have out there. Rashawn Slater is very sad not to see him play this year. Joe Alt is also really freaking good. Those two, if they can stay healthy, you're going to have a crew, man. You're going to have a crew in LA. I think you've got some real stars. And then defensively, I think they're just going to keep improving as well, too. Jimmy, you snuck your way back on. Look at you. Continuing to find your way to hang out. Will, totally digging your T-shirts you are sporting. Appreciate it, man. Got the throwback Bobby Wagner. I got a throwback Marshawn Lynch as well. Got a couple other good polos here. Gray Zabel jersey. Got a JSN jersey. Look, man, I don't have a lot of people coming up to me saying, man, your fashion rocks. So I'm going to appreciate that one, Jimmy. It's not often that I get a little bit of love when it comes that way. Usually it's, why didn't you iron your jeans? Or, don't you think that those shorts are 2 inches too short? We don't need to see your compression shorts. But that is what it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on social media at Will Ortner on Twitter and on Instagram. Constantly tweeting and posting about your Seattle Seahawks. Got content that sometimes you're not going to see on video, so you don't want to miss out on that. Go and follow me over there. Until next time, I'll see you later. Awesome. Appreciate it. Like the video. If you love the Seahawks, 46 of y'all.
I had to get in that last one. It made it a little bit longer, but I had to get in the last couple questions.
That's okay. It happens. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Quinn in here trolling, man. That's crazy. Quinn, why would you come in and trade? Bang, bang at Niner Gang. I have an idea who Quinn could potentially be, which would be very funny. It would make me laugh. It would make me laugh a lot. David, Logan Wilson from the Bengals requested a trade today. Possible target? Probably not. I don't think so, because I think you like what you got right now. I mean, Drake Thomas is playing pretty well. Ernest Jones is playing amazing. I don't see linebacker being a spot that you go and make a trade for. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it's a good spot. Quinn, what's your thoughts on the Niners? Okay, maybe not the Quinn I thought it was. I think you're good. You've clearly made some deal with the devil so that you can continue to win because everybody is hurt. I also don't wish Fred Warner's injury on anybody. My little cousin just had the same injury. Thing is brutal. That is a brutal recovery. But you can't knock Shanahan, man. Keeps finding ways to win. Keeps finding ways to win. Liam! Are you just saying other teams, Liam? It's good to see you. Oh, I love that. Liam's got the Seahawks beating the Bills in the Super Bowl, 31-17. Then you keep saying Bills and Commanders. Liam's apparently a big Jane Daniels fan. Love that. Love that. All right. Make sure you follow me over on social media. We're plugging it. Producer Reed and I, believe it or not, we followed each other 2 days ago. Didn't know we weren't following each other. Producer Reed was adamant that he get to that big 6'7" mark. And you're not there yet? It's okay. We'll get you there. We're trying to grow the road to 1,000. It's on Twitter. Road to 1,000 on Instagram as well. So make sure you go follow me over there. Got stuff flying out for you guys. Thank you guys again so much, so freaking much for coming in, hanging out with us. We're going to have those videos coming out every single day. You don't want to miss out on it. And we're going to have 2 videos on Friday. So make sure you check all those out. And until next time, we will see you guys later.